plan this week is dedicated to first grade, and we are going to be studying pollination. In order to study pollination, we need to ask the question, what is pollination? I have 5 lessons that will help us understand what pollination is, but to begin to understand what pollination is, we need to learn the parts of a flower. For this first lesson, I have provided your teacher with a worksheet that says parts of a flower. Each student will cut out the words down here, and they will cut and glue them into the correct spot. You can also color your flower and be sure to put your name up top. The literacy component for this lesson is called Flowers by Gail Gibbons. After each student has completed one of these worksheets, and it is all done correctly, they will be hung up outside the classroom in the hallway for others to see. For the next lesson and the next day, we are going to be understanding how flowers reproduce. To understand this, it is better to get a actual visual of how they will reproduce. So we will be going out to our garden and seeing all the flowers and all the plants and all the insects and observing what they're doing. So I will have you gather up a pencil, a piece of paper, and a clipboard and line up at the door. While you guys are outside, I want you guys to write down everything you see and what is happening, what kind of plants you see, what kind of flowers, what color are the flowers, what kind of bugs do you see, or do they fly, or are they not flying, are they on the flowers, or are they on the plants, are they in the dirt, what color they are they big or small, anything that will help you recall exactly what you saw so that when we come back inside, we can do some observing. My literacy component for this lesson is A Bee's Difficult Search for Food by Mary Ellen. And after reading this book, students are going to take the information that they learned in the book and the stuff that they have observed outside in the garden and find the similarities to it. Students will have to write a paragraph about what they observed and how it relates back to the book. Once the students have written their paragraph and are completed with it, they will be paired up with a partner, and then they will each read their paragraphs to the other one. To start off day 3, you can go ahead and ask the students what they remember from the day before, what kind of observations they had, and then I have linked a YouTube video for your students. For this lesson, I have really enjoyed it. We are going to hand our students a piece of paper, and you can either have a flower on it or not. I went ahead and covered my flower in, but students will be tasked with a game. For this game, students will be handed a blank piece of paper with either a flower on it, or they can draw their own flower. They just need to make sure that they have a big enough circle right here so that we can use chalk. So I have a blue piece of chalk, and I am just going to color in the middle. Okay, so I have colored in the middle of my flower, and I have also colored in this another flower to help visualize it. So that's an orange chalk. So for this game, each student will get one of these flowers, but then the students will be split into 2 teams. Each team will need to come up with a bee, so they will need to choose somebody to be their bee, and each bee will get a cotton ball. So for this game, the bees will have to go around to each of their flowers, and they will need to put their cotton ball in the middle where the chalk was, and then they will do this. But you only have one cotton ball, so you'll go from flower to flower to flower. So I just did my orange one, and I did my blue one. So now you can see I have orange and blue in there. Once the bee or the student has touched each center of each flower, they will need to run up to the front of the room or wherever the teacher has placed an empty jar or empty cup, one for each team, and the bee will need to put the cotton ball inside the jar, and then the first one to do that one. Each student will get a chance to be a bee, and then once our students have the game to perfection, we are going to teach it to the next door classroom. For day 4, it is going to be pollination versus nectar. I will really be hitting on bees hard this week or today because bees do both. They get nectar, but they also pollinate the flowers. So bees collect nectar for their hives, honeybees do, and then they go back and they make honey. out of the nectar that they have collected. Your teacher has one big jar of honey that she has brought in, and each student will get to try one little bite of it, and then you are going to reflect on how it tasted. Once all the students have tasted the honey, your teacher will put them into itty bitty containers, and you guys will get to take them home and have your parents try them. Once your parents try them, I want you guys to tell your parents all about how the nectar is collected and taken back to the hives, and then how the honey was made and what you thought about it when you taste. Once you have explained it all to your parents will need to sign or initial the piece of paper that has been sent home with the little jar of honey, stating that you guys did the activity so that everyone gets full points. For the last day and final day of this weekly lesson plan, I have provided a field trip for you guys. Students will need to be on their best behavior going to, during, and coming back from the field trip. Students will get to go on a pollinating tour and learn all about the pollinating insects. Students will need to stay actively engaged with their tour guide by asking questions and using appropriate body language. Your teacher will be walking around behind you, and the students will get to tell what the teacher needs to take a picture of. They also need to be remembering or writing down on a piece of paper everything they have been observing, because when we come back to school, I will task you guys to make a presentation and to present it to your principal. I think you guys will really enjoy this week. I really enjoyed making this lesson plan. Always feel free to reach out, and I will answer any questions you guys have.